in the pandemic, a lot of people started their own businesses, and as the pandemic, as they shifted from e-commerce to now more sort of wanting to create a brick and mortar storefront, I think that's why we're seeing small businesses continue to sort of create new storefronts in the region.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.
What's a key takeaway that you want people to leave with today?
I mean, I think a couple of the takeaways are that the top line numbers for the U.S. economy, overall are doing well, but there are some signs of slowing in the U.S. economy, particularly in manufacturing, industrial production, and some of those. I would also say that the labor market continues to remain historically tight, and workers are very difficult for a lot of companies to find at the moment.
You mentioned the workers. That seems to be one of the big drivers in the inflation issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good component of it. I mean, what we see is a lot of firms, once they get workers in the door, they really want to keep them, so they're offering retention bonuses and increased wages, and then also to attract. Firms are sort of increasing wages to try to attract workers as well. So the supply of labor remains a driver of why wages continue to rise.
How does what we're seeing on the national level relate to what we're seeing here in the Mahoning and Shenango valleys, and what are the differences, key differences?
Sure. I mean, I think some of the key differences that we're seeing are, for the U.S. as the whole, employment has gone past pre-pandemic levels, and here in the Shenango Valley and the Mahoning Valley, it has not. Employment continues to lag behind. The unemployment rate's 4.9 for the MSA compared to 3.4 for the national. So we're seeing in some leading indicators that the region isn't performing as well. I would say that's also part of a regional trend for a lot of the Midwest. We see that the Midwest on the whole isn't performing as well as some other regions in the U.S. economy.
Now, one of the things you mentioned is that retail, at least small retail, appears to be coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a trend we've seen. A lot of retail space vacancy rates decline, and I think a lot of that is former big box stores and a lot of that were commanding a lot of space and a lot of metro areas. As those close down, there are smaller businesses that are moving into some of those spaces to sort of fill the void, and I think that's what we're seeing. In the pandemic, a lot of people started their own businesses, and as the pandemic, as they shifted from e-commerce to now more sort of wanting to create a brick and mortar storefront, I think that's why we're seeing small businesses continue to sort of create new storefronts in the region.
One of the things you mentioned that was troubling was in terms of workforce, number of people 55 and above that have left. Particularly troubling was men in the 25 to 54 segment dropping out of the workforce.
Yeah, I mean, those are two key statistics, right? I think for folks, it's more intuitive for the 55 and older folks, right? After COVID, a lot of folks retired. Maybe maybe unfortunately they passed away or they had health issues, right? But on the other end, right, for the proportion that's in the labor force, for the 25 to 54-year-old men, I think that's one issue that is something that really catches people's attention, is that's down about 0.7% from where it was prior to the pandemic for the largest group of workers in the labor force.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.